Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're zeroing in on a genuinely massive opportunity for managed service providers, or MSPs. We're going to look at exactly how you can take modern workspace tools, specifically Notion and AI, and flip them into highly lucrative, high-margin business models. Listen, if you've been stuck in the grind of selling commoditized software installations, you're definitely going to want to pay close attention to this.
Okay, let's dive right in by asking what might be a slightly uncomfortable question. Are you, maybe, a little too loyal to your productivity tools? I mean, think back for a second. You might actually remember the 1980s and that classic Franklin Covey planner, right? It was this beautifully designed, comprehensive manual system. And sure, it required constant updating, but man, there was that visceral, satisfying nostalgia of crossing off a completed item with a big, exaggerated swoosh of your pen. But aside from that swoosh, using it could be an absolute chore. You were lugging around this heavy leather binder everywhere you went. Yet people stayed incredibly loyal, buying a new one every single year for nearly 2 decades.
So, let's track the evolution of these productivity tools, moving from those hefty paper planners to the dawn of digital note-taking.
When you step back, it's actually a pretty stagnant history. We start in the 80s with the Franklin Covey paper planner. Then, in the mid-2000s, people attempted the impossible, trying to cram that beautiful paper planner into Microsoft Outlook tasks. We all remember the pain of early 2000s tech, right? It was basically a 10-year torture session of clunky workarounds, sync errors, and super rigid interfaces. Then Microsoft OneNote hit the scene in 2003, and at first, it was amazing. You could type, use a stylus, paste web clips, even record audio. It was early second brain stuff. But here is the crucial point. After more than 20 years, OneNote has barely changed. You're basically doing things the exact same way you did 2 decades ago.
But there's a point where even the greatest brand loyalty starts to flag. Which brings us abruptly to the modern era, the AI platform explosion.
What happened next was a massive shift. We moved from simple, fragmented note-takers to these robust AI-driven platforms. Suddenly, the market just exploded with tools like Asana, Monday.com, Airtable, Microsoft Loop, Obsidian. For an IT integrator, someone whose very soul is about bringing the best-in-breed components together, this sounded fantastic. But a huge pain point quickly emerged. Each of these tools only handled a specific piece of the puzzle. To get everything an IT integrator actually wanted, you had to maintain this frustrating, completely disjointed stack of multiple platforms.
Amidst all that chaotic platform explosion, a really clear champion emerged: Notion.
What makes Notion so interesting is that it's not just a note-taking app. It's what we call a connected workspace. This means it's a single platform where your relational databases, rich text documents, company wikis, project boards, and process automations, they all live together. Notion has exploded to over 100 million users because it essentially acts as an operating system for a business. It completely replaces the need for that massive tangled stack of spreadsheets, single-use apps, and clunky workarounds we just talked about.
Let's look at some of the heavy hitters here. We're talking comprehensive knowledge management with wikis and standard operating procedures. You've got project management with sprints and Kanban boards. There's lightweight CRM for sales pipeline tracking and robust IT automations. Now, if you're an IT professional, this list should bring back some fond memories. It maps perfectly onto what an MSP already does. It kind of reminds us of the early days of programming systems in DBase. Or actually, maybe building whole company intranets on SharePoint is a better example. The flexibility is incredible, but this flexibility is also a massive challenge for the average business user, because most of them, they barely scratch the surface of what's possible.
And that challenge for the user, well, that is exactly where you come in. Let's pivot sharply from tool features into the hard-hitting business proposition, the lucrative MSP opportunity.
Think about what you currently charge for a standard Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace deployment. Now look at this number: $1,500 to $5,000. That is the estimated fee you can easily command just for the discovery and architecture phase of a Notion engagement. You are diagnosing a business, mapping their unique workflows, and designing a custom system that fits their exact needs. That's a highly billable, consultative engagement. And honestly, it's only step one.
Then comes the build phase. Setting up a well-built Notion workspace for just a 20-person company can easily run 40 to 80 hours of configuration work. You're building templates, relating databases, setting up automations. This proves that we are talking about a high-margin professional service here, not just a low-margin software deployment where you're merely flipping licenses. You're designing something of incredible value with a relatively low tooling cost on your end.
And the best part? We have the real-world proof to back this up. These are not hypothetical numbers. For instance, Raw Studio, a digital agency, saved 5 hours every single week in sync meetings just by unifying their workspace. Heidi, a healthcare tech company, saved a staggering, almost unbelievable 260 hours a month through automated Notion workflows. And Notion consultants working with law firms are helping them reclaim 10 to 15% of their week from mind-numbing administrative tasks. These are massive, measurable efficiency gains happening right now for businesses using well-built workspaces, and this is exactly what you are selling.
Now you might be thinking, okay, this sounds great, but building these complex architectures from scratch sounds incredibly time-consuming. Well, that brings us to our secret weapon, building with AI assistance.
So the absolutely crucial point here is that you don't need a 6-month ramp-up to learn complex syntax. You can literally stop coding and start conversing. Enter AI assistants. You can use a custom persona, let's call it Claude Cowork, and simply sit down and chat with it. You tell the AI what you want to use Notion for, you answer its tons of questions about your specific workflows, and you just let the AI configure the workspace syntax, build the databases, and set up all the relationships for you.
It is truly mind-blowing to see the incredibly specific, diverse workflows that an AI can build and refine simply through conversation. I mean, an AI assistant configured a workspace that pulls a daily top 50 MSP newsfeed from thousands of sources directly into Notion. It set up web clipper reading lists. Get this, it even built a routine to log continuous glucose monitor health data every 5 minutes to track trends automatically. And it seamlessly automated a system where online meeting transcripts are automatically summarized and instantly linked to the correct client project. The AI handles the heavy lifting of the configuration, which leaves you completely free to focus on the overall design and functionality.
Because AI makes this so accessible, you can move right into an immediate action mindset. Let's look at how to get started today, because right now, the competitive moat for this service is still wide open in the channel.
Here is the exact playbook to build this out, from free YouTube learning all the way to a certified practice. Step 1. Set aside 2 days and watch Thomas Frank's free Notion Fundamental series on YouTube. Step 2. Build an internal practice workspace for your own MSP operations. Seriously, break things, get hands-on. Step 3. Pilot this with a trusted small business customer. Maybe do it at a reduced rate for discovery, and make sure you document the results. Finally, Step 4. Become a Notion certified consultant to get that official credential to put right on your proposals. Now, as you start pitching this, you have to remember this golden rule. Price for the architecture, not the SaaS license. Because Notion itself is pretty inexpensive, your first instinct is going to be to underprice your services. You've got to resist that urge. Your value is in the high-ticket system implementation. You are replacing their chaotic, messy combination of shared drives and tribal knowledge with a completely streamlined engine.
To draw this explainer to a close, let's channel a concept from Napoleon Hill's classic 1937 book, Think and Grow Rich. I want to leave you with this somewhat provocative challenge. Are you selling your replaceable tools or your irreplaceable thinking? As an MSP, commoditized installation and implementation services are a dead end. Honestly, computers cost more to repair than to replace these days. But the AI explosion has completely democratized application building. With AI assistants handling the syntax and the tedious details, the future entirely belongs to those who do the core thinking, the planning, and the design. Stop sweating the technical minutia. Use tools like Notion and AI to start selling your most valuable asset, your ability to create superior business solutions. Think about what your business could look like if you made that shift today. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring.